up. We getting ready to get started in a second.
Well, I'm gonna be at work.
We're at work then. We're at work.
So I'll be listening.
Yep. Where Dad at? Chilling?
Yeah.
All right. So let me just get everything set up. We'll get started in 1 second. Everybody log in. Peace, Noble. Let's give it a minute. We're going to let everybody log in.
I'll make a quick run. I'll be back in about 30.
30.
So let's give it a
Am I
minute.
grabbing some ice while you out there?
Give it a minute.
Nice, right?
Peace, my soul.
Please.
Yep. Look, all right. Yep. That's another of your drawings, Mom?
Did you see it?
No. Oh, man. Who is that? That's somebody you drew for him?
No.
Oh, that's a nice one, man. That's for your art exhibit. You got your Arctic show this weekend, right?
Yeah.
That's a nice one. What else you did? What else you put together? You got some more?
Yeah.
What you got?
I got just some. I'll post pictures.
Okay.
But that's what I'm working on now. I'm working on finishing those.
Okay. So we'll give it a minute. I popped on. I know I'm gonna have to make somebody. I don't know who at home. Malik, you at home, Noble?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm gonna make you a co-host. Wait.
I'm already co-host.
Oh, okay. Well then, cool. I don't gotta do nothing.
What you need me to share?
Well, this the first document, the one that Solomon sent me. You got that?
No.
Now the text stream, you didn't get that?
Nope. The one he sent you yesterday?
Yeah.
I don't have that.
Okay. So hold on, I'm about to send it to you. Give me 1 second, Noble.
Okay.
And then the other one for the main topic. I know you got the main topic document, right?
The one we went over yesterday?
You say what?
Which one?
The year to kephera. You got that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's the Indian. That's the Indian of the Blackmore.
Yep.
The women's over, ain't it?
Wow. Big.
Peace. How you feeling? How you feeling, Noble Alonzo?
Women's
I'm feeling great. Noble. I'm feeling better. I'm feeling much better.
Gratitude.
Gotta get hydrated. You know what that is.
Remember, we always talk about workouts. Always the heart. We don't got to be in the gym trying to lift no whole bunch of weights. What we do, we get stronger, and the strength starts with the heart first. Islam. So I just sent that to you, Noble. So give it a second, and then we're gonna get into the teachings. It's gonna be a good class today, man. It's gonna be an amazing class today. That's all I got to say. And if anybody on our YouTube page, it's a scheduled lecture. If you want to donate to the teachings, if you don't, we're gonna block you. And please don't try to be disrespectful. But if you'd like to donate to the teachings, if you're on here, it's Cash App $KG Bay.
There was something wrong with my Indian Negro, aka Blackamore.
Okay.
Something wrong. You mind sending it to me?
Can somebody send it to him?
I think it just came over. It's fine. I can send it to you.
No, not the other one. He needs the Negro, the Blackamore. He don't have that one.
Oh yeah, send it Christian picture of mine.
Who's our guest on here? We got a guest on here. Peace to our guest. So let's give it a second, because I like to give at least a 5 or 10 minute grace period for our brothers and sisters can get on, and we're going to jump into the teaching. Remember, get your pencils and your papers, man. If y'all remember picture pages back in the day, what is picture pages time? Get your picture pages time to get your papers and your pencils. If you want to learn something, you got to here to learn. You will come to no lecture on a college university or nowhere I speak and just be in there without any notes, because the student's going to look back like, why you here? If you're coming to be enlightened, I hope you have a pencil and a paper. Islam? So let's do our Moorish American prayer, somebody. Anyone?
Allah, Father of the universe.
Let me turn their mic down. I gotta turn them down. Mom, you gotta mute yourself.
Kareem,
Yeah.
you talking to me?
Yeah, I heard Dad talking or somebody else. I'm sorry, that wasn't you. I'm sorry, Noble Alonzo. Can you finish, Noble?
Islam. Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen. Ayah after ayah. Shalom Alakim. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Al-Haq Yabu Habib. Islam, I say, peace, 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 peace.
Peace. As Noble Malik putting that document up, those that we want to come to school, when Noble Alonzo was giving those beautiful names of Allah and he's giving that credit to that manifestation, we have to understand, to eliminate the confusion, is Noble Alonzo was not praying to different gods. He's giving homage to one God with all the manifestations, just like in your Holy Name Bible. When you open up the preface of the Holy Name Bible, it'll tell you all those names of God. Jehovah Jireh, the El Elyon, all those different titles, those working powers that you have. I'll give you an analogy to make it plain. Like Solomon is a noble right now with us, as always, but he's a husband. At work, he plays a position. So those are attributes. Islam? Okay, I want us to be clear on things. I don't want us to be thinking there's some many gods things. This is monotheism. This is one God. We're not here to argue with nobody. We're not here to debate no one religious dogma. Because one thing I can tell you, what does 1 Thessalonians 5:21 states in your biblical scripture?
Prove all things.
Okay.
That's the way we do it.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is religion, it separates us. History, law, and science, it scares us. Truth has no sides. You have people in one house, all that mama, a so-called Christian, and the son is this, they won't even talk to each other. What is man made in?
The image of Elohim.
Okay. Okay. So the science of more science is understanding that God and man is one. Everything else is the different facets of law, period. And if you don't understand that God and man is one is first, and you think it's multiple creators that made this creation, that's crazy. That's why I always say you must have a base. That's why when I start off with IDMR, when I talk about man is made in the image of Elohim, when we get out the biasness, when we get into the teachings, of let's blow this up real fast before we get into this. Hold on, no, but let me blow myself up so they can see this. We teach from a perspective of love. Man is made in the image of Elohim. All that other prejudice stuff is we're not here for that. Everything else is conditioned. This is the science to more science, understanding who you are, understanding man, understanding your chemical makeup, understanding all this stuff, understanding that you're not made from no junk. This volume 1 and 2, I'm not going to jump all the way in it, and volume 3 and 4, to give you a clear understanding of where we're going with things and where you need to go with truth of the matter. So when I deal with specifics, when I say Americans, and we don't let anyone get us with their Eurocentric propaganda or any Negrocentric propaganda, because scholarship is just what it is and it's unbiased. So let's deal with another factor. Another factor we're dealing with is I like to show everything, the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. This is the 1828 Webster's Dictionary. I want to show you something. This is just my subtopic. I'm getting you warmed up. So we're going to go into the 1828 Webster Dictionary, and we're going to get to the definition of an American, which is a noun. Listen clearly. A native of America, originally applied to the Aboriginals, or you can say and, or copper-colored races with the S, copper-colored races. Found where? Here, where? We're in America, here, by the so-called Europeans, but now applied to the descendants of the Europeans born in America. And the name American must always exalt pride. This is what they say, patriotism. We know where that's going. I want to give y'all, I'm warming y'all up. We almost where we need to be, for we can be clear. Here go the definition of a Hebrew. That's a noun. One of the descendants of Eber, the Igbo is the real Jew. That's my add-on. Hebrew, noun. I showed y'all this in peer-reviewed scholarly research. But one of the descendants of Eber or Heber, but particularly a descendant of Jacob, who was a descendant of Eber, an Israelite, a Jew. Okay.
You.
Come on, man. This stuff is simple. We always talked about Hellenic or Hellenic. We don't let nobody get you called up like you some Hellenistic Jew. That's their science. Hellenic or Hellenic, an adjective pertaining to the Hellenists or inhabitants of Greece, so-called from Hellas in Greece or from Hellen. Hellenism is a noun, a phrase in the idiom genus or the construction of the Greek language. Their tongue, Hellenist, is a noun. Listen clearly, a Grecian Jew, a Jew who used the Greek language. One skill in the Greek language. Listen clearly, Hellenistic is an adjective pertaining to the Hellenists. The Hellenistic language was the Greek spoken or used by the Jews who lived in Egypt and other countries where the Greek language prevailed. Listen to this, Hellenize, verb, intransitive, to use the Greek language, to speak that tongue. Hell's Point. Now, this is the science. Hell's Point. I'm finna tell you how you think certain people got from here to there to destroy your monuments and things. A narrow strait between Europe and Asia, now called the Dardanelles, a part of the passage between the Ixon and the Egon Sea. Hellenish. Listen to this. Pertaining to hell, like hell in qualities, infernal. Hellenish, the qualities of hell or the inhabitant, extreme wickedness. So when they talk about the Hellenistic Jews and all this, that ain't you. We're just making a precedent, since we like to use things, and I'm not even going to jump into other dictionaries and things. I just want to make that little thing stick in your head before you can start asking yourself some questions. So let's put the first document up, Noble Malik.
121.
Yep.
Or 120.
Yep. Yes. Yes. Because I love all my brothers and sisters. I love all my brothers and sisters. Let's make that number one. But we have to teach the truth, no matter if it fills a room or clears it out. We must teach the truth for our brothers and sisters that don't have any biasness or no hate in your heart when it comes down to spirituality, when it comes down to the creation or the creator. So when people hold books like this, y'all know what this is, right? I got to go there.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the supreme wisdom lessons. Far Muhammad to the servant, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the lost found nation of Islam in North America. That's you, right? North America, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we got to deal with it now. If you're gonna say this biblical, if you're gonna say we connected to something. That's why they always try to get credit to Noble Drew Ali, but then sneak this. So let's deal with it. Original God, tribe, nation, Shabazz, Allah. Show me where that's at. Show me. Show me where the tribe of Shabazz at. Biblically. Show me. Don't get mad. And don't make up nobody no folktale, because we do the same thing with people when they Christian stuff. They just got the wrong essence, because we are from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. But show me the tribe of Shabazz based biblically. I'll wait. And don't nobody make nothing up biblically. I'll wait. Anybody got
Can you
it?
see the document?
Huh?
Can you see the document?
Nope. I ask all my brothers this. I'm a student of all religions, and a tasawwuf, a Sufi, a shaman, a medicine man has to be. That's why when I talk about Credo Matua, when I talk about the Zulu, man, a person that can educate the people and teach children math and arithmetic, you were the teachers. When I talk about Sheik Falls, all this stuff, man, I'm not talking to nothing that we don't understand. I don't pray to no dead spirits. I give respect to that. We gave Islam to the world. We talk about God and man as one. So you got the document up, Noble? You ready for me? I don't know what, Noble.
I'm here.
Okay. You need me to do something?
No, I was basically trying to put the document up.
Okay. Take your time. Take your time. Because we cannot belittle the spirit. We cannot belittle the creator. That's the problem with man. They try to figure out so much stuff. So if you're going to figure this stuff out and you're going to play with things without using the mathematics, without using your compass and square, and try to pass things on as facts and truth, where truth has no size, let's deal with it. Islam?
Islam.
Okay. We must. So I'm waiting for the document. It's my screen black, Noble.
Yeah, mine is too, but it's saying that it's up. I know another way to do it. Don't worry about it. I'll pick it. There's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep. Take your time. Take your time.
All right, here we go. Can you see my computer screen now?
I just see Malik Reed has shared the screen. Yep, I can see you, Noble. Yep. Yep. And I'm gonna jump around this as I'm talking. I'm gonna have you go to certain bullets, because we're not gonna stay too long in it. I hope people got their pens and papers, and if brothers say they studying and all this things we proclaim that we do, then I hope we with it. Because as scholars, yeah, I can see it. Because as scholars, if we was in a court of law, if I was dealing with a person case, if I was dealing with Brother Alonzo and he, I don't give a damn, an Egyptologist, and somebody else is a damn rock believer, I don't give a shit what you believe in. I'm gonna deal with the truth of the matter. Both of y'all can give me y'all stuff, and you say, okay, well, analyze this sheet and see what, blah, 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 what's valid, and deal with the truth of the matter and the mathematics and grade this test and see if we accurate. I ain't gonna say, oh, just because this brother are more, or just because this brother, I'm gonna treat them biasness or treat them better. No, if all y'all wrong, I'm gonna say this shit wrong. And I'm gonna show you how it's wrong. And if you mad, I don't care. That be people trying to explain a lie, and you can't explain the lie. People be trying to build on stuff, and I'll be like, just say that's your belief system. And right under belief is a word called belai, believing in things that you can't prove. 1 Thessalonians 5:21 says, prove all things. And truth has no size. So what are we talking about? My people that are lost due to a lack of knowledge. Why, Noble? Because we do what?
Refuse to learn.
That's self-inflicted. A refusal is something you do. You turn our back on what? Logic, on reason, on what? Discernment. We do this. So now we got to deal with it. So I want everybody, I love all my brothers and sisters. all my Nation of Islam, all that, all 5% is you Christian, all that, because we use the same books. Can't nobody be coming and getting something different out of these books, out of this science. That got to be crazy, or somebody that's so-called hateful and spiteful, and your own people be like that. That's just fact. That's just a fact. Because it can't, how can we be so confused and we all using the same books? So we're going to deal with it. I challenge Christians, all this. I've been all through universities and everything, through my academia study, through studies. And we use things to compare and contrast. And the only people that get mad is discolored people that's stuck on religion. They're the only ones that get mad. I promise you. Because all the books that they portray, they study and all this, they ain't studying nothing. And they ain't looking at it from nowhere else. This is a fact. All my Muslim brothers, they ain't even touched the Bukhari Hadith. They don't even know what I'll be talking about. They don't even know. When I talk about the Arab slave trade, it seems like their tongues get cut out their mouth. So we all know that the Caucasian brought us all of the so-called religions of the world and all that which is in between for the purpose of what? Mind control. That's why it's this more science. That's why this monotheism, I'm telling you, we're going to deal with it. They'll try to say man-made religion and that aspect did that, but the religion in this aspect didn't do it. Man, au contraire, mon frère. The pendulum swing both ways.
Right in the left.
Come on, no, but it must. It must. Look at Patrice Lumumba in the Congo. Who took him out? His own people. Them damn Europeans, they have enough power. Look at all the poison they tried to do. It took his brothers to sell him out. Look at the Big Six.
Only people that look like you.
Come on, always. And today, our brothers and sisters, we can, and this is the writer saying to dispel these false doctrines. So pull up a little bit.
What?
Yes. And so I say, when I speak of things, what I'm doing, I'm using these things to challenge you to research stuff. Because if you're just going to be told something, then I mean you have no understanding. And man, don't know by being told. You got to know it. You got to know it. You got to be able to stand on it. And most of these religious people can't stand on nothing because they get upset. And I say, how are you upset? Off the teachers. If you're trying to say 2 + 2 is 15, it's crazy. You know?
Yeah.
And we got to restore. If we resurrect, we got to restore what? Everything back to this original state. Just like my old school I'm working on. You ain't seen, I ain't act like no nigga finna put some rims on it and some bang on my car. You ain't even restore it back to this original state. You put some rims and some bang on it. You didn't restore it back to this original state before it was freaking tampered with. What are you doing? You dressing it up. We don't dress up. We restore. Islam?
Islam.
Okay. So we got to deal with this. This ain't no slander. If you a truth seeker, if you a light seeker, this is what you want. If one claims to be God, then he or she should be able to answer the questions as a God should and not resort to physical threats or death threats. Just like when the Messiah was questioned, he came with wisdom. He ain't get mad like, oh, wait, I'm going to kill you or you don't believe. No, I'm going to give you wisdom. I'm going to spit the shit out that you say you believe in. So now the challenge has been issued for all my brothers and sisters. And I love them all my 5%ers, all my Nation of Islam Muslims, all that. All my Moors, all my brothers. But I know brothers do not be reading and studying poo diddly. Why? Because they're walking around angry and hateful. So let's page up. Page up, Noble. You see that's Clarence X, Father Allah. We give credit to all of them. Page up. There's no hate or no slander. We in a new dispensation. We know who Malachi York is. That's like I be saying, Malachi York was like, hell, if y'all gonna try to act like some fake stuff, I might as well implement myself in this shit and make all these, my books talking about all the ancient tablets. And all he did is implement it. I hear somebody talking, man. Can somebody mute themselves? You see the ancient tablets and everything. All the old science, he just implemented himself. He taught more science than everything. It's just a fact. Go page up. I study everything. I study everything. I don't just study things somebody tell you. I study everything. I study all writers. I don't care what color you are. So this is a question that they asked. So let's deal with it. Now, I'm not coming from no right or wrong. I'm coming from a place of education and scholarship. I'm challenging you. Don't go off what nobody told you. Somebody told you some old folly. You just sitting there listening to that shit. You ain't researched nothing. Somebody told you 2 + 2 is 15. That's crazy. So if we're going to pass something out into science, let's deal with it and ask yourself questions. So number one, can you show and prove that we are Asiatics and that the whole planet was called Asia one time? When I say I deal with specifics, I deal with agreements. So we got to understand a person to say, yeah. And I said, that's just a piece of it. That's just a piece. ASIA is a piece of a word. Let's deal with it. Now, this is the person that's writing. I'm in the flesh. I can correct and add on to a lot of teachers. That's why I use things for education. If you was at a university, your whole synopsis would be, what did you get out of it? Not the lecturers telling you to, this is his writings. I'm using it, comparing it to show you how to use it, to show you how to take the science and throw the rest away. As a philosopher, as a scientist, as a man of God, as a man of Allah, a truth seeker. So according to science, according to research, the planet was never called just Asia per se. The name Asia is like a compound word from like Laurasia. Y'all ever heard of Laurasia? Yes, no, maybe? Huh?
No.
Okay. Somebody said yeah. After we looking at maps and things, and when I say Jane Elliott, when that European lady, no disrespect, was on Oprah, she was telling you about maps and things and how they wasn't fake. All that stuff that I taught on university with our own people, these people are saying and we don't catch it. I'm like, I've been teaching it. That's why we lost due to a lack of knowledge, because we think our own people don't have the keys, and they do. So, which later became Eurasia. First it was Laurasia, then it became Eurasia, EURASIA. So of course Asia is in there. You can't say the word one called Asia. You just got to give it all. So you're not dissing nothing. You're adding on. Just because you know how to do 1 + 1, when you learn how to multiply, you're not dissing 1 + 1. You add that in your toolbox, which our Morse Quran clearly states in chapter 5. Islam.
Wow.
So, which was the northern portion of the 2 supercontinents. And then they say that made up Pangea, and they talk about for some separation, but that's a whole nother teaching. We just got to stay in the context. But I can tell you something, that the lower portion was called Ganawa. When they talk about Ganaguana, this was in a whole nother lecture. When I talk about Jerusalem had 3 names, remember? Remember in the Negro question, Jerusalem had 3 names, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're talking about scholarship. That's why people need to tune in, because this is a connection. This is a puzzle. How can somebody say they got the keys and the puzzle and you missing pieces to the story? And in another text, Gadagualand, which now mainly consists of the great continent called Africa. Also, the root word for Asia is oriented, and that and Orient, and that is those who we call Asians today, also called Orientals. And back then, all of the, no disrespect again, the pale Arabs, because the European agree with me, especially if they Masons, because the Arab is not the ancient Arap. These is facts. Considered themselves Asians, and that was their classification. Even when you read Chancellor Williams' book, Destruction of a Black Civilization, for a little bit of that. Pull up a little bit more, Noble. It's gonna get good. And so you can see you can see below the depictions of how the earth looked when there was no land mass onto the land masses that look in the present day. Go up, Noble. Gratitude for just showing things, because I want people to be students. So in this right here, all my brothers that have it, this is, like I said, I study everything I have to. I mean, if a shaman, a magi has to study everything and dissect it with no biasness. This right here, this is where all this teaching come from, the supreme lessons. So if you're going to say this is what it is, so let's deal with it. Question 2, in the 3rd degree of the student enrollment, the 3rd degree in the student enrollment, it states that the Indians count as the original people also. And they can't explain what makes them original when they don't have the same so-called you per se. Don't even look at the word skin color. We talk about ancient and modern. I'm telling you, ancient and modern. It ain't no disrespect. It's ancient and modern. The Bible tell you in the beginning the world was dark. They try to tell you what on Thomas Jefferson Quran, when they was coming to the Americas, what they saw: Berbers, Corsicans, pirates, darkies per se. I'm telling you, you could be mad all you want to. That's why they saw black Moors in this region. Black, what type of black person or per se? Black Moors. I'm sorry. Just like the 1599 Geneva Bibles tell you what you are, what they saw. Black Moors. And the same Indians do not recognize the sovereignty of the Nubian race per se in America, because Egypt is a tither, but you did come down from Nubia. It's nothing wrong with all this stuff. It's a connection, you family. And the Indians, the modern Indians today, they just look more Caucasian in feature than the Hindus, who look more like Nubian in skin color. So it ain't no disrespect. So you could consider themselves, no disrespect, so-called half originals when they all want to talk, when the religious people want to say half this, when they are a product of Nubians or Chinese mixture per se, and then mixing with the Caucasoid race per se. Page up. This scholar, this for teaching, that's what it look. That's what a modern. That's the modern right there. Go back to the picture. That's the modern. It's no hate. It's no slander. Man, I went to man. I'll finish my junior doctorate degree in Indigenous People Law and Policy. I'll show y'all the school books. I'll show y'all the real $5 Indians. I'll show y'all this real shit for nobody can be like, yeah, he telling the truth. So it's a whole other chamber I open up in academia where they try to whitewash you. Point blank. Go to the next page. That picture and all that. So question 3, if melanin is supposed to be the color causing pigment, right, in all living creatures, and the pale man, this is what they say, or so-called, this is what they teach and say. This is what they teach and say. This is in this book right here. This is in their teachings. Or the white man has no melanin. Why is he called the colored man in his lessons? Right? Right? Somebody talk to me. Come on.
You're making too much sense.
I know I am. So the word color, let's deal with dictionary when everybody want to act like they so smart. Oh, I got the dictionary, I got this, so let's deal with it. The word color simply means that which has color or been colored. So he should be called the discolored man, for he lacks color causing pigment. That's why in school, the color spectrum comes from dark to white to nothing else. Period. That's science. If anybody tell you anything else, they lying to you and your kids.
All right.
Question 4, can you show and prove that this what they say in their teachings, the devil only owned 6 million square miles of useful land on the planet Earth at the date of the writing of the lessons? This what they say, page up. I did a whole lecture with my Muslim brothers. They were like, Sheikh, we can't, none of this. And I'm like, okay, we shook hands and we hugged, they cried. I teach them secretly. If that's how they want to be taught, I ain't tripping. At least it get to them. So it states that the student enrollment, that the devil only uses 6 million square miles of useful land. However, this is not right and exact because your math got to be right and exact. Your math got to be right and exact if it's math. Because America alone consists of what? 3,536,294 square miles. And Europe being 3,930,000 square miles. And Canada being 3,854,085 square miles, which is a total of 11,320,379 square miles. Not to mention all of this land and these islands that the Queen of England and the British states own the Caribbean. So that cannot be correct. How were these totals calculated? How were the totals calculated? That's what all I ask them. The first thing they do is get mad and huff and puff and get the snot. Man, I don't care about all that. Of course, this is what they'll say. You'll say what, Noble?
I said they're emotional mathematics.
Mm-hmm. Man, that math is off. All that math off. But then they'll say that it's a symbolic number. Well, it can't be symbolic. Okay, why? Because the Arabic and Aramaic language is a number system. The numbers got to match. So now you're really playing with somebody that you don't want to go there. When you talk about a symbolic number, meaning 6 is the devil, and the lessons we're taking on face value, see, don't get mad. Even the so-called misnomer Arabs, even though the misnomer Arab states are Caucasian, for they are pale Arabs and do not consider themselves original, or as you would say, misnomer black people. And they have a racist caste system, just like America does. This ain't no hate. This they teachings. You can't put it out there and don't think nobody can analyze it. A third grader can analyze this. How can Islam be older than the sun and moon and the stars if Islam was not invented until the 7th century AD? So what Islam you talking about? Somebody talk to me. Mm-hmm. I know, because she and a Diop, I can show y'all from scholarship. According to the 10th degree in here, according to the 10th degree in their book of the student enrollment, question 1 to 10, there's no hate. It says that Islam has no said birth record and is older than the sun and the moon and the stars. That's what it say. However, Islam was invented in the 7th century. Page up. So what type of Islam you talking about? Come on. Then they'll get the plan. Originating with the teaching of Muhammad ibn Abdul, along with the advent of Arabic language, which is a mixture of the Ashuric and the Syriac dialect from the Semitic language family tree. And they will say that Islam means isolate self, Lord and Master. I'm talking about the religious Muslim. It do to us because we understand it, because we come in a synchronicity. We understand words. We understand Salim in our science, because in more science, we don't believe in nothing outside of ourselves. This tasawwuf, this Sufism, and I, self, Lord and Master is nothing but an acronym, but it's also the Kabbalah. It's also gematria. It's also symbolism. It's like YHWH symbolizes man. And it still spells the word Islam and shows and proves that they indeed worship Islam. And then the religious Muslim, they will say that Islam means peace. But that is not the case in their science. In their science, Islam means one who submits to God. And according to even online etymology or whatever you want to look up, just like I tell Morris, my last book, I just gathered it, compiled, and divinely prepared, the divine pattern and our Morris Salat. Islam means this: Islam religious system. The religious system. I didn't say the Tasawwuf. I didn't say the God and man in one. I said the Islam religious system revealed by Muhammad, 1818, from Arabic literature. Submission to the will of God, from the root of asalama. He resigned. He surrendered. He submitted. Causative conjunction of salami or salima. He was safe, and related to salam, meaning peace. Islamic is a test from 1791. Early English names from the faith included Muhammadism, 1614, and Ishmaelism, 1604, which in part is from Ishmaelite, a name formerly given especial by the Jews to the Arabs and the descendants of Ishmael. Like me and my dad be telling y'all, Isaac and Ishmael is brothers. What the hell is we arguing about? So you see that Islam is related to the root word for peace. However, in their religion, it does not mean peace at all. And this is the type of thinking that was implemented, no disrespect again, by pale Arabs or modern Arabs, so that we will convert to their way of thinking and worship them, even on a near subconscious scale. But however, nobles, in this day, in this time, the facts are being revealed through what the writer says, the right knowledge. So can you show and prove that Christianity was born in the year of 1383? This is what the teachings say? Come on. So let's deal with it. According to the 10th degree in the student enrollment, it says that Christianity was born in 551 years from the date of that writing of 1934. Okay, so if we deal with math, then that would mean if we go according to the lessons, Christianity began in 1383 AD. And that is not right and exact. Why? Because in the year of 1382, come on, you can research it. And if the research is false, well, then everything is fake. We ain't got nothing to talk about. A man named John Wycliffe wrote the first English Bible, proving that. Page up, Noble. Proving that the Bible and Christianity was around well before the lesson stated. Which is, who is John Wycliffe? Y'all got it. John Wycliffe. That's why I say all religion was created by a European. I'm sorry. Don't be mad at me. We post all that stuff and then try to say this and that and the other. Islam too. Islam ain't nothing but catechism. Come on. Please. Come on.
Islam is the culture.
Yeah, well, yeah, but not religion, not man-made religion, because all man-made religion is created. Not the spiritual. We had our shamans before some physical book. If you go to a certain area before some Bible and stuff, what you had? You ain't had no Bible. You had your medicine men. You had your sheep. You had your tribal leaders that revealed that wisdom and spread it back. We didn't have to have nobody come with no book or no man-made religion. John Wycliffe was an English theologian. That's why I say you have to go to college and study. when I say and get out of the hate and see where we were miseducated. An early descendant in the Roman Catholic Church during the 14th century, founded the Low Alert movement. Look this stuff up. A precursor to the Protestant. So when I say Protestant, when your religious people come with that, I'm a Protestant. This is what they call it. This is what you thought when you were the Protestant, Christian slave, conversion and race in the Protestant Atlantic world. And these written by Europeans. I don't give a damn if they baptize you. They say you still a nigga. Excuse my candor. So you don't get mad at me.
What you just read it about what John Wycliffe is, an English theologian, right?
Yes.
What is theology?
Come on. Say it, Noble.
It's made up.
Mm-hmm. Come on. That's why we doing this. That's why I said if that's the case, anybody can just come up and write some stuff and then preach hate and say the Bible said this and said, no, man. This is a theory. Okay, no, it's not theory. It's law. It's science. Well, let's deal with the science where you say the shit come from. It's all dust. So who you gonna be mad at? You can't be mad at me.
Darwin theory. He was a theologist too. Darwin was a theologist.
All bullshit. Thank you. So, and it ain't even read what a hybrid is. It ain't got nothing to do with you and me. They talk about some slave and some animal. All this nothing to do with you and me. They telling on themselves.
Welcome to the Caucasian race.
Come on, Noble. An English theologian and an early descendant in the Roman Catholic Church during the 14th century, founded the Low Alert movement, a precursor to the Protestant Reformation. Thus, he became known as the Morning Star of the Reformation. He was one of the earliest antagonists of the papal. Come on, y'all know the papal, the encroachments of the secular power. You say what, Noble?
The papal bull.
Mm-hmm. Wycliffe felt that all Christians should have access to the Bible in the vernacular. He is credited as the force behind the first complete translation of the Bible into English, called the Wycliffe Bible. Research it. It's believed that he translated at least the 4 Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and it's possible he could have translated the entire New Testament, while his associates translated the Old Testament. Wycliffe's Bible first appeared over a period from approximately 1382 to 1384. With additional update versions being done by Wycliffe's assistant, John Purvey, and others in 1388 and 1395. Go up a little.
There it is.
There go John Wycliffe. The Christian era was started in the year 527 AD. Just like when I was in the university, when I was telling people about Dionysus, the Exegus instituted the so-called Christian era, looked at all this stuff up. It'd be all fake. All of it, it'd be made up shit. Just like Josephus, all fake. He overturned the Julian practice of dating for 4713 BC as the start of their calendar and established the BC and the AD dating system. And in doing so, he established a date for both the incarnation and birth of Jesus Christ, which was March 25th and December 25th, respectfully.
Throw you off, people's off by like quite a few hundred years, like
mm-hmm.
It was like 500 or 300.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You said he personally established the BC and
yeah.
He created that.
Yeah.
Throw you off the breadcrumb.
Before Christ. What's before Christ? And never was a time when man was not. What are you talking about? Who giving you these dates? All dates would be marked for the year of so-called Christ's birth. And most Christian scholars agree that Christ's real birth year was 7 BC in 325 AD. At the time, the pagan emperor Constantine declared the Roman Catholic Church the official state region of the Roman Empire. When I get into talk about the doctrine of the discovery, man, y'all got to know what I'm talking about. And transferred the title of Pontifex Maximus, all those movies back in the day when y'all be seeing them in the arena fighting, 300 and all that. Pontifex Maximus. A pagan authority to the church. As the empire waned, the church expanded. All of this was calculated around the so-called birth of Jesus, called the Christ, in which at that point in time was named AD, which in Latin means the year of the Lord, an establishment of the church. So you see, Christianity was not established in the time that the lessons say that it was. And another blaring contradiction by people who were set on controlling the minds of the original people in this part of the land. Another question, it states that the lost found Muslims in number 1, in the first degree, that the devil was not settled on the best parts of the planet. And all this stuff you can fact check. The statement can be true. England controlled most of the Caribbean islands. So if you mean Asia or Mecca, you will also find that those Asians or so-called Arabs also were pale Arabs who ruled those lands, who indeed were the Amhory, the Amhory, or the Caucasus Mountains, who mixed their seed with the original Nubians and Hindus and considered themselves white. And the Caucasian has been set up in the South Africa since the 1800s. Research this. Europeans been all in South Africa. When the European settlers came to that region by 1931, they had a business district set up in the so-called Africa, similar to the business district here in America. So you can please show me the best part that the so-called Caucasian was not settled on. See, that's crazy because all this land is beautiful. All of it is just asinine to even say this. Page up. We almost done and we're going to get right into the teachings. It's going to be quick. Go to 29 and we done with this. If people don't have it, they need to become a student and get it. Because all this stuff, go to all the way question 29. And then we're going to go right to the teaching. Yep. I ain't got to stay on all that because people need to read this for themselves. This to be a whole teaching. A whole teaching. There you go. Okay. All right, go back up a little. Okay, bam, go back up a little bit. Go back up a little bit more. I want y'all, I got to make a statement. Go back up. Go back up a little bit more. All right, start right there. Yep, 26. So when they talk about the land of Patmos and all that, when they talk about in their lessons, the land of Patmos and the island of Patmos is only 13 square miles and the house a population of only about 3,000 people. All the stuff, you got to understand how it can't house no 60 people all live on no island. So page up a little bit. I just wanted to hit that precedent. I'm just putting something in your ear. So you please show me where EU or U means hillside. This is what they'll tell you. And you search every etymological definition, and you cannot seem to find anywhere where the word or acronym EU or U means hillside anywhere in any of the ancient or modern languages. I want y'all to research that. And anywhere in the NGE or none of this stuff, none of this science or the Nation of Islam, that's the God of Earth, for that matter, name the 23 wise scientists. We talk about those scientists that came up with this white man theory. So question 29. Why is Tamari or Egypt never mentioned in these lessons? They always want to talk about some, why is none of this never mentioned in the lessons? Oh, we finna blow the shit off of it. Page up, keep going. It strikes you odd that the lessons never mention none of the great Nubian Africans or the Nubians that came from a certain area, from these empires. None of our great accomplishments at all. Other than some black man named some Yakub who created this so-called white man. That's all we're gonna come up with some mystery. We don't know where this shit come from, and we're gonna give our history to some misnomer black man with some goofy ass head named Yakub who created the white man, huh? And that don't strike you odd? How does these lessons prove our greatest when it speaks about events that happen with so-called pale Arabs? This is what they say. So now let's deal with it. Show and prove a man named Shabazz existed. Show it. It's no historical or structural record of a man of that name, that title ever existed. However, there is a story of a man named Sheshbazzar. I told you, they always try to pull this shit in you and trick you. Sheshbazzar, who was not, and this is what they say, original man, but was a straight-haired Hindu. And this just shows that someone came to give us something different than what we had. So they replaced myths with what? More myths. Page up a little bit, no?
Oh, there he is.
Bam, look.
That's the modern day era.
Yeah.
India.
Modern.
straight hair, mixing with Neanderthal / AKA Caucasian.
So everybody want to come to this. I said, man, please, they playing a game with you. You don't look good. And just like in the Muslim lessons in their paper, here it is, some fire Muhammad, no disrespect. Somebody with straight hair, this is your Messiah and your prophet. But you got a Messiah and a prophet. Let's question 31. It says in the 4th degree of the 1 to 14 that they chased the devil, which they call a white man, across the Arabian desert into caves of West Asia called Europe, and made them walk every step of the way, which was 2,200 miles. The Nation of Islam, where the 5%ers got their lessons from, teaches that while in Europe, the white man dwelled in the Caucasus Mountains. Well, it's only roughly 1,328 miles from Mecca to the closest point of the Caucasus Mountains. So this is nowhere near accurate. So you can show and prove that the Caucasus Mountains, or the closest point of Europe from Arabia at that city now called Mecca, is 2,200 miles. If we're gonna deal with math, you can't just make shit up. You can't. And they won't even try it. Not with no real scholar. They just get to arguing about what Muhammad said or what Farrakhan said. No disrespect to that. In the 5th degree of the 1 to 14, it says that Jesus was buried there, meaning Jerusalem, who was one of your righteous brothers. So put emphasis on was. Was is past tense. So where is Jesus buried today and now? Huh? If I say that's where Solomon was buried, that means he ain't there no more.
Islam built his body.
Okay. We almost done. See, we almost done with this bullet. So that's why in academia, you got to get this, because this is going to line you up for what I'm going to say. There has been no archaeological proof or skeleton of the man you call Jesus buried in Jerusalem. How was this falsity ever derived? Religion, that's how. Proving that it's centered on...
Make it seem like it's some mysticism.
There you go. Yep. And it's centered on the battle of Pale Arabs and the Christian Crusaders. And you simply can't prove this if you say that man cannot return from a physical death. So can you show and prove? Yes.
This is the one that they rewrote, mind you.
Yep. Page up a little bit. We're gonna go to 40, and then we're gonna get to the other teaching, and we're gonna be done.
Number 40?
Yeah, start right there. See, you say it's a Hebrew word that means peace. Salim, Jebusite, Canaanite tribe who inhabit the region around Jerusalem prior to this capture by King David. Jebus was one of the cursed Caucasian leper man of the Canaanite tribes, and it's not the original man whatsoever. Jebus, meaning desolate, having dark hair and dark brown eyes. Today, the Jebusites called themselves the Jews, inhabiting Jerusalem, Germany, Poland, Hungary, Romania, Australia, Bulgaria, Yugoslavia. No disrespect, aka Europeans. No disrespect. The same way the second president of Egypt was saying, Nasser. The reason why Jerusalem is cursed because God's children left black and came back white. That ain't my words. That's his words. Look that shit up. It's in the Time magazine. You ain't got to argue with me. Ariel, which is the biblical city of Samaria. And in the time of the Crusades, it was controlled by Arabs. The name Ariel denotes Hebrew rulership, and there is not record of the original man being moved from that area by the so-called Jews or the so-called Arabs. So this is obviously not us. Page up. We almost done. We're going to give all this shit back to whoever wanted. We ain't rocking with that. That's why I say, Moors, if you a Muslim, that's on you. But don't come with no books from somebody that's illiterate and then try to bring that to a scholar and educator and try to pass that on to me. I'm going to dissect that shit. Don't get mad at me. I come from love. Can you show and prove that our people with brown skin and kinky hair, or as you say, black people, took Jerusalem from the Caucasians in the year 750 years ago? This is what they say. 750 years from 1934. This is their teaching. The purported date of the writing of the lessons gives you the year 1184, which is the time that the Crusades were going on, when the Christians under the Knights Templars were fighting against the Pale Arabs under Saladin. It says that we, as the black race, took the city of Jerusalem from the Caucasian in the lessons. This is their teachings, and this is clearly Arab history. And they are trying to erase your heritage by teaching you that these were your peoples when the Arabs were enslaving our people. in the masses in that continent called Africa. When you look at the Arab slave trade, man, my dad went to, I think it was a family reunion in Florida with a lot of his cousins and things, and a lot of my family is Muslims, Nation of Islam. My cousins in Florida, in Tampa, and my dad was like, y'all talk about this, but research the Arab slave trade. And my cousin called my dad, was like, damn, cuz, was like, shook him up.
So we're 750 years off by calendar, right?
You damn right. From the time of the writings, yeah.
On the 750 current day, the Dorian calendar,
Yep.
you have the right year.
Yep. Come on, Noble. Message, page up. I want to show y'all. I think it's 40, and then we out of here, and then put the other one up, and we gonna be done. This is a good class. All right. Watch this. Question 40. If the devil has to study from 35 to 50, where to years, this is their teachings. This is going to be so good, y'all. Listen. That's why I said the Negro is not, the European is not the joke of masonry, because the European knows he's the son of a Muslim. Watch this. If the devil has to study from 35 to 50 years to become a Muslim son, this is what they lesson say. Why are there no so-called, and today, why are there no Muslims in the Nation of Islam or the Nation of Gaza Earth or a major scale? Listen what I just said, right?
That was somebody who they call, please.
From their lessons. That's why I said the great God don't make nothing evil, it's all conditioned. From their lessons. If the devil, they trying to say the white man is the devil. So if the devil has to study from 35 years to 50, where years to become a Muslim son, why are there no white Muslims in the Nation of Islam or the Nation of Gods and Earth or on a major scale? See? Can you please show me the flag that the devil wears with the sword on the upper part of it, or describe it to me? Come on, we almost done. I've never seen a group of misnomer white people walking around with the flag of the 5% with a sword on it. I hope y'all listening. That is the reference to a what? Masonic Shriners, right?
Yeah.
Okay, page up. We almost done. Page up. Here we go. Whose symbol was introverted crescent moon and star with the knife of Khufu, the Egyptian pharaoh, and a sword placed over it? These Shriners were taught mystical sciences and given this knowledge in the year 1887. The sword is a scimitar, which was placed there to let them know that their heads would be cut off if they revealed the secrets that were given to them. Page up. I'm almost done. I hope y'all listening to you. Your own brothers that's in the nation got where it is. The secret, they lying to you. Remember I showed y'all, go back down a little bit. Go back down a little bit, Noble. Back down a little bit. Yep, go right there. Go back down a little bit. Right there. Remember I showed y'all in the European paperwork, 1914, the ancient and noble of the mystic shrine, they not ancient. And I showed you the year. And then I showed you in our teachings, we hundreds of years before all that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the secrets? They will point to the lessons and say that the secret is that they let them come amongst them. Pull up a little bit, Noble. Come amongst them and do trading. Well, obviously, this cannot be the only secret because the lessons say secret in plural, secrets. So if it's a secret, it's just one thing. So what's the secrets with the S? See, these Negroes are still lying. So what are these secrets, I ask? And they cannot tell you the answer to these secrets because they were never taught what they were.
That's why they only 32 and 33 degrees.
I'm telling you. Man, it says that the planets are made or grown from the beginning. Can you tell me when did the beginning start? Does that mean the beginning of the solar system, or does that mean the beginning of the creation? I ain't even got to get with all the mathematical equations that they just throw at you. That's BS. So let's go to the teacher. Let's put the other document up, and we're gonna get out of here. People need to look at this document for yourself. Islam? This ain't even gonna take long. Sometimes the preface be longer than the teaching because the teaching ain't gonna take long. We on page 37.
37 of that one?
Yep. The 4th of July. Independence Day. A cosmic event. The day of the kephera. For my brothers and sisters that be talk about they scientists and all this good stuff. We cannot get biasness. Like I wish my Empressman was here now to start showing y'all the charts, but we'll do that next week. When I show y'all my makeup and IDMR, how I show y'all man is made in the image of Elohim. And I start showing y'all all those charts that you can start connecting things to. Because there's no biasness. Islam?
Oh, 30, you said
page 37. Yep.
37.
Yep, page 37. It's going to be real simple. We come from love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And man is made in the image of God. The creator ain't creating nothing that he or she didn't love. The only condition. 4th of July, the 4th Independence Day. A cosmic event, the day of the kephera. Just like when me and my dad be talking about signs and symbols. You cannot make those signs and symbols up if you don't know what they're talking about. Just like when people saying this is fake. Well, everything is fake if you don't know where the stories come from. The flow of story come from the Epic of Gilgamesh. I hope you know where the story of the Epic of Gilgamesh come from. If you start tracing things, if you're going to diss anything, then you're going to diss yourself. And then you got to say it's all fake. If not, you playing.
What does the F stand for right before the 4th of July?
The F? What you mean?
Right there where it says F, July the 4th. Oh, it means F?
That's 4th.
Like for real?
Right, for real?
Is that what the F stand for?
Yep. Are you effing kidding me? But July 4th, the significant date. I just broke that down what people been lying to you all about. Even when I show y'all even when I show y'all pictures of people with the fez on that'll lie to you, that's Elijah Muhammad with the fez on. When I tell y'all, your own people will lie to you. That's why I'm telling you. What's the motive? July 4th, the significant dates given as the founding of the Nation of Islam by Far Muhammad in the ancient history is the astronomical day. Watch.
Wow, now it clicked.
Yep. So, of Kephera, K-E-P-E-R or K-H-E-P-E-R, for all my Egyptologists and all that stuff, they talk about they read the hieroglyphics. Man, me and my dad was having a conversation to how somebody that try to come over that don't have a person. I hear a lot of stuff in the background. Somebody please mute themselves. I hear a lot of shit. Please. But how can somebody come and say they can interpret your signs and symbols if they're not part of your family, if they're not part of your tribe? Why do we believe this stuff if it ain't coming from the native? So when we talk about the keeper, this hieroglyphic, which is nothing but a sign and a symbol of the dung beetle holding that solar disk, the beetle was the sign for Cancer before the crab. Before the crowd. That's why you always got to go with the oldest. People just off they rockers because they don't want to learn. They want to keep their little pennies in their pocket. Cash App, $ KG Bay. It's nothing wrong with donating to something that you say you love. Because if you didn't like it, you wouldn't be here. And the astronomical and astrological sign of Cancer is from approximately June 21st to July 21st. And that solar disk held by the dung beetle is not representing the sun, but the star Sirius. And it's on July 3rd through the 5th. That Sirius, for all my so-called Egyptologists and all my people that I read the stars. If you read the stars, then you know exactly what I'm saying. You should be on your Islam, amen, all that. But you don't read the stars. It's on July 3rd and the 5th that Sirius is aligned directly with the sun and earth.
3 days, huh?
Come on, Noble. I be asking people simple questions. They be acting like I'm saying something so advanced. I say, but you don't even know the prereqs. You a charlatan.
It's funny that it's 3 days and it's three entities: the star, the sun, and the earth.
I told you people to dress up, and you would. Oh, that's somebody heavy, man. They just dress the hell up. They just got a dot on their forehead. is the center of this 70-day period of disappearance from the heavens. And this was a special spiritual time period in the ancient Moorish nation, aka Egypt, aka Timoriel, aka Timoria. And this astronomical positioning of the planets, the sun, and this star at the center of this universe is a time of special spiritual force that affects all events on Earth. Is it coincidental?
Oh, that's why they try to throw you off in the middle of the day with all the fireworks
Mm-hmm.
and fugaziness.
Man, we ain't even jumped into it.
Y'all burning money. This makes no sense. You buy fireworks to burn your money.
Mm-hmm. Is it coincidental that America was founded on this so-called day, July 4th, 1776? Think about this now. Is it coincidental that so-called, this what they call a master, but ain't nobody my damn master, Master Farah Muhammad announced the independence for us. He said for us as a nation on July 4th, 1930. I gave y'all the paper. What? In that Muslim paper, he didn't say Farah Muhammad is the Ma'idah for the Muslims and the Christians in 1930 for the Ma'idas for the Muslims and the Christians. Read it.
And then now he's nowhere near, disappeared.
Somebody that you ain't never seen, that made up stuff. That's the same thing Christianity. Then somebody believe that don't look like you. Same thing. Was he aware of the ancient science of life that deals with Cyrus mysteries that was reestablished by the family of Amram in the 18th dynasty of Egypt, which we talk again when me and my dad talk about Isaac and Ishmael, his brothers, that Moorish, that Israel, the world first, here we go again, monotheistic culture, the world first monotheistic culture, which your Moorish Quran was constructed of, the unto thee I grant. It talk about the one God. It talk about the Osiris mysteries. What are we arguing about? I know what you're arguing about. You're not studying. Dad, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, part of it is especially people our age
Mm-hmm.
that don't have guidance
Mm-hmm.
to be guided to the knowledge. We've been misled a lot, so it's hard for some people to grasp if they're not searching. It's like you hit them over here with a bat.
And see, no, but I've been guided. Like I've been guided with my dad. Like, I haven't dissed nothing. I've added value to what I understand. I'm not dissing nothing. That's why when I say this is monotheism, how can you not understand monotheism and your Moorish Quran clearly speaks of it? Clearly. Of the present age of history. It's nothing wrong with having a map and a guide. That's what I tell people. What does a knowledge of the physical motions and geometry of the universe have to do with our concept of God or self and its accuracy or inaccuracy? Our subject, if it's reparations, and in order to repair, we must discuss the knowledge of what? Self, and go to its roots on all levels. So how can we identify the source of all universal motion, which is force? And this significance of this Cyrus and this ancient tradition surrounding government plays an important role in the establishment of government of the United States of America and in our own establishment of our government that is materializing today. That's why the new kingdom in your Mormon Bible, when they talk about the new Jerusalem and the God who will come back on the earth, the only reason that the people who rule unjustly have been able to rule unjustly is that they were dealing with a superior wisdom or supreme deception. And it's the initiation of wisdom from the above science that I'm saying. Just like what Malik said, he said the same thing I said, which words have synonyms. He said a lot of us haven't been guided. A lot of us haven't been initiated. That's what I'm saying. You must be. What's wrong with being initiated? Going through academia, that's an initiation. When you're going through karate and anything, any facet of karate, it's a form of initiation. What's wrong with us?
Is that 12-step letter also coinciding with
yes.
With 12 astrology times?
Yes.
So doing yourself?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Synchronicity. Okay.
Yes. Remember, y'all.
Each person has a part of some part of the astrology inside of them, and that's what makes you who you are. But depending on where the stars are lined up at when the day he was born.
Yes, man, that made my dad be having a conversation when they say, "Oh, they knew this from the stars," and we act so stupid with it because we not philosophers and we can't understand. Oh, so you telling me you can't be guided by the stars? So you telling me the stars can't tell you when things are aligning? So you don't know your makeup, you don't know you don't know astrology and the signs you was born. The stars tell you this shit. But we play goofy and all this stuff. Oh, I'm an astrologer. I'm gonna do all this. Oh, I'm gonna go to the person to read my stars. No, you read your own sign just for you first. Families did this. When I say certain families.
Milky Way every day, right?
Yes.
In the nighttime, every day, every night, I mean, you can find the Milky Way.
Yep.
Every night. Why is that? Huh.
Dad, you want to say something, Dad?
No, go ahead.
What my mama said? No. Did you, Dad?
No, go ahead.
Okay. But this significance is the ancient tradition surrounding the governments and things. When they talk about the new kingdom and all this stuff, when I'm saying about being initiated, you want to be initiated. You want to be initiated into a brotherhood. You want to be guided. You want to be, I've been guided. My father is right here. So why wouldn't a man want to be guided by another man that have a father that can sit back and fact check things? And my father ain't just going to tell me stuff based on, because I think it's right. That shit better be right. He going to tell me I got to put it in my calculator first. Y'all know what he mean when I'm saying put it? I gotta make sure this shit is, I gotta use knowledge. I gotta use logic. I gotta use reason. I gotta use discernment. That's why I say you gotta deal with the basics. How can you build a foundation if you building it on rubble? If you this today and you that tomorrow. Just like the Abramelum the Magi tell you. Man, you don't gotta diss nothing that your makeup. You don't have to diss nothing you understand. You don't have to diss none of that. We building on this. You must be guided. You must be initiated into the sciences, into the degrees. So the kephera is a very ancient netter. What's a netter? Y'all know what a netter is? Watch this. If anybody that talking on here that talk about they some Egyptologist, I bet you they'll fail miserably. Do y'all know what a netter is? Watch. Well, see, somebody said prism. Yeah, close. Yeah, you cooking? You cooking with fish grease? But when I talk about the netter, the meta-netter, signs and symbols, a netter, something that symbolized this. So if my dad, from our family, if my dad say this butterfly not only symbolized a goddamn letter, it symbolized a whole fucking thought. Are you following me?
Pictures are worth 1,000 words.
Okay. So an ancient netter associated with creation and is usually called the kephera or the kepher. Or the kephera tiskusif, which means kephera, the self-produced, the self-produced, the self-produced. If God created man, ain't no devil created no another man. Come on, this ain't even logical. This ain't even logic. This ain't even logic. He represents by a scarab beetle, which is usually shown above his head. And sometimes the beetle is used in the science of a human head. Although it has been suggested that the worship of kephera predates the worship of Ra. Kephera is considered a form of Ra. You see when I say we are the little gods, we're not the God, we're not the creator, but we can create life. We didn't create the heavens and earth, but we can create and destroy. Kephera is considered a form of Ra. We are a form of Ra. If y'all rocking with me, somebody say amen, something, Islam, something. Am I talking crazy? Okay. It said that Ra came into being under the form of kephera. Kephera is called the father of gods. That's why when people be coming to all that Egyptology false stuff, I say, man, y'all is all off. They finna have y'all sinking with the Titanic. It represents transformation. I'm going right back to when me and my dad talk about that alchemy. What's the alchemy? What's the transformation? We ain't talking about no metals and gold, that Western thought process. You the alchemy, the transformation from a state of what? Innerness into a state of what? Active life. Active.
No.
Yes.
We can't hear you.
You can't hear me? I didn't mute you.
I'm muted.
Let me see. I didn't mute nobody. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mute nobody. Sorry, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yep, now we can.
But kephera is called the father of the gods. So I'll go back if y'all didn't hear what I was saying. Kephera is a very ancient netter. It's associated with creation and is usually called kephera or kephera tiskusif, which means kephera of self-produced. is represented by a scarab beetle, which is usually shown above the head. And sometimes the beetle is used in lieu of the human head, although it has been suggested that the worship of kephera predates the worship of Ra. Kephera is considered a form of Ra, and it is said that Ra came into being under the form of kephera. Kephera is called the father of the gods. When we talk about the pantheon per se, it represents transformation from a state of innerness into a state of active life. So when the body with the alchemy or is dead, prayers are recited over it. So the soul within could burst forth into a so-called new realm of life. And this so-called resurrection is symbolic by kephera.
An esoteric meaning right there.
Come on, Noble. The scarab beetle may have been or became a symbol of resurrection and transformation because it starts out in life as an egg laid in a ball of dung. When the egg hatches, the scarab is at first a larva and then a what? A nymph or something not all the way formed. Finally, the adult scarab emerges from his ball of dung, fully winged. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Nature.
Come on, Noble. Fully winged.
Taking the course.
Yeah. Joseph J. Adams teachers, and which has been divinely given to a lot of people and truth seekers that will plummet the foundation of the present world as we know it. A known fact is this, from a book called Know Your America. This is studied in all academia. It's civil law, history law. This is nothing secret. We did lectures on the college campus. When I say it's just something that you have to be introduced to. So this book was called Know Your America, a suggested course in Americanism. Number one, what I'm reading from, all the nations of Islam's had is what I'm reading from. That's the funny part about it, because it was written and sent to all students in the ministry of Islam in the wilderness of North America by Elijah Muhammad, servant of Allah, dated 4/2/1936. And then this was reissued January 18th, 1963. So I ain't lying to you. And this just a part of the teaching. There's way more in here on other topics. So it states, prepared and distributed by the American Legion, the context and meanings of the establishment and design of the American flag. And it's given, and it states, question 1, by what authority was our first national flag established? Answer, authorized by Continental Congress. 2, quote the exact language of the original flag law. Answer, resolved that the flag of the United States be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field, representing a new constellation. So watch this. When y'all get a book, what's that book that the 13th tribe? I forget who wrote the 13th tribe. Shit.
Arthur
Koestler or something.
Koestler.
Yeah.
Arthur Koestler.
Yeah. A lot of stuff you start reading, and even Thomas Ford book, The International Jew. You just start reading some things and start to be like, wait a god dang minute, Sheik. You're gonna be like, wait, because they're gonna tell you. You don't gotta believe nothing I said. But what is the significance of the 13 and the new constellation? So the truth of that statement rests in the secrets of Masonry as an ancient secret science and the secret knowledge in religion, and of Israel, which is God's nation, and its relation to the indigenous black man and woman of America. I'm telling you, that's why the first thing what I teach you is the last thing what a Muslim know, or a Mason. And this has everything to do with your true nationality, your lineage, and your national heritage, which is our identity. And the Declaration of Independence was also signed on what? July 4th in the year of what? 1776. Not by all the delegates of the colonies, but by two specific men. Those specific men were John Hancock and Charles Thompson. These two men played pivotal roles in American government, one playing a major role in religion specifically, and the activity of their actions of signing the document and recorded in an infamous material on Masonry and the building of the structure and government of America called the secret architecture of our nation's capital.
Isn't that John Hancock, one of the presidents of the Confederate?
Yeah. I lectured the whole, yeah.
George Washington.
Yes.
So was Charles Thomas.
That's why the only person that's going to be rocking with some Porsche, The only person gonna be rocking with some poor stuff is a bum, and there's nothing honorable being poor and broke. We all own the dollar bill. Remember they talk about the stone that was rejected was now the chief cornerstone. I show you on the back of the dollar bill all that how it's a 7. It's there. We wasn't poor people. If I just gave earlier of them that they did all this to do business with you, they're not gonna tell you wasn't no bum.
I was curious why they dropped their L's and B's off.
Who that?
John Hancock and Charles Thomas.
Well, they didn't. Remember, because in a lot of their personal writings, they had to write in pseudonyms. So a lot of them didn't. They pen name. So when you was writing different things, you wrote in your pen name, just like Flavius Josephus did. That ain't nothing real. That's a pen name. That's a pseudonym. I'll start showing y'all all the history. You'd be like, God damn, this person that wrote this. You'd be like, yep. Just like I showed y'all Peter Lambert Wilson, the European that wrote Sacred Drift, that wrote about Prophet Noble Drew Ali, and then Moors be like, oh, Hakeem Bey, man, that wrote the Moorish Paradigm. Man, Hakeem Bey is a European Jew with a big old beard, look like Santa Claus. It's a fact. So the secrets of Masonry and all this is that it's all about you. And it's have everything to do with your nationality and all that. All this stuff. John Hancock and Charles Thomas. And they played a role in religion. The activity of actions of signing the document are recorded in the infamous material on Masonry and the buildings of the structure in government called the secret architecture of our nation's capital. On that day, July 4th, Congress agreed the wording of the declaration, and it was signed by the President of Congress, John Hancock, who was a Mason, and the Secretary of Congress, Charles Thompson. David Overson goes on to say, in the secret architecture of our nation's capital, the Masons who first signed the Declaration of Independence would have been aware of the particular significance of the 4th of July as a cosmic event. So those Masons were John Hancock and Charles Thompson. Where and from whom did they gain this knowledge? Thompson was also the translator of the Septuagint Bible from the original Greek version into English. And it was the first translation of the Septuagint ever done into the English language in America. And the Septuagint Bible was the so-called first Bible of the Old Testament ever recorded in 285 BC in Egypt under Ptolemy Philadelphus. There were no versions of the Bible compiled in book form in any language before this. And the oldest Hebrew version dates from the findings of my dad, one of his beloved books he loved to read, the Dead Sea Scrolls, which date back to 150 BC through the 1st century AD. And I challenge y'all, Moors, get the Dead Sea Scrolls. Get the Dead Sea Scrolls and read it. Let's come back and have some conversations. It's keys.
So this is before the one they called Jesus even came.
Yeah, when you start reading it, you'll start piecing some stuff. I want to take. Go ahead, Dad. You want to say something? You on mute. You on mute. I don't know how you on. I don't got you on mute. Let me see.
You gotta touch the screen.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah. No, I got it. You got it? Can you hear me? Yeah. Well, what he want to say is, go ahead, Kareem. Look, big blue
We're talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Oh yeah, the Dead Sea Scrolls to tell you about how Christianity actually came about.
Mm-hmm.
It says, what first was the Gentiles who was circumcised, they became the Jews. The Gentiles who didn't want to be circumcised, they became the Christians.
That's why.
That makes a lot of sense.
Dead Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
That makes so much sense. It's not even funny.
I'm telling you, a lot of stuff ain't talking about you. If we born into something, like watch this. Let me tell you about a custom. My dad custom. If we do a custom, that means can't nobody tell us what to do. You got to see it's custom for other people. It's certain things that if you don't have it, how you going to even speak on it? So when a person be dissing things, I say, where are you dissing it from? They ain't even touched to have a debate with a person that's teaching. And that's what I be saying. Most people haven't even touched the surface to where is your complaint or argument coming from? Nowhere. So when I tell people that I said the Dead Sea Scrolls is a good piece of wisdom for you can start piecing stuff together. I promise you. So as we continue, we almost there. The other standard versions are from the Hebrew Masoretic text from the 9th century AD. right around 900 AD. And the importance of the Septuagint Bible is the council who recorded the history of Israel were recording the oral traditions that had learned and that they had learned from the true black Moorish Israelites in Babylon. That's why they always try to hate on Nimrod. But we know the true story. Afterwards, no disrespect again. No disrespect. White Jews under the direction of Ptolemy and other Romans rulers who came later studied the lost history of the 18th dynasty that had been nearly washed away by the Bible and the biblical and the Quran. Pharaoh Ramses I and his son Seti I during the 19th dynasty of Egypt. All this stuff that you can find. The lost history of the 18th dynasty, the Moorish Israel, was used by these, no disrespect, pale people, so-called Jews, to graft themselves in as the Israel and major prophets of the Bible. See, that's why the Nation of Islam, they disappeared this paper. But the truth, the people got it, we got it, and so we asked these questions. These prophets were really major figures of the 18th dynasty of Egypt, like Akhenaten, Moses, Solomon, and Yahu, Thutmose III, David, Abraham. A still from the records of the 7th year of the rulership of Imhotep II, aka Saul, and his military commander Thutmose III, Uya, Abraham, David in Memphis, show that there were 3,600 Apiri, strangers, foreigners of the captured people. David, Thutmose III, Abraham, Uya, and Solomon, Akhenaten, are recorded in the Bible as dealing with these same strangers and keeping a census record of them. Come on, y'all. There are 3,600 of these strangers recorded in 2nd Chronicles, the 13th and the 17th verses, or Apiru, or Habari, or Habiru, Habiru. When I show y'all the story of Hammurabi, man, we lost. And the true teachings is right here. We're going to let somebody whitewash the histories. I'm illuminating. If you're a scholar, if you're looking for science, this is it. This word became Hebrew, Habaru, which became the word Hebrew. Research it. And the point here is that Charles Thompson, Secretary of Congress, by and through his works with this translation, his work in working with others in establishing the designs for the flag and the seals bearing the pyramid, the Eye of Heru, the eagle, and the significant 13. And then you ask these brothers what the Eye of Horus is, they don't even know that's 9. It was very aware. You say what, Noble?
I said, and mathematical measure.
Yep. Their Egyptian origins and their connection to the astronomical significance of Cyrus. How? Where did they get this information from? And why is it important and instrumental in the founding of a nation that has become the most powerful on earth? You can find the secret influence of the members of the descendants of the 18th dynasty family of Amram. Here we go again, that Moorish and Israel. When I tell y'all Isaac and Ishmael is brothers, stop letting, no disrespect again, these Hebrew Israelites and these brothers argue, well, show me where Allah's in the Bible. It is, fool, God, you. Ain't you made in the image of God? That's just dumbass semantics. In the halls of the Continental Congress in the establishment of America. If so, how would the influence of the black people in this lineage in the setup of the affairs of this establishment of America government and make us view everything that is operating around us in respect to government and even the past itself as it relates to the slavery period? That's why I tell people, man, the way we dress is not no way no Muslim or nobody dress. The way we dress is biblical. All Bible, from our turban till our bonnet till our sash, even if you got an earring on your head. These Moors or no Hebrew Israelite, tell them to get their Hebrew lexicon. We don't dress like no Islam Muslim. They take your dress. We dress like the followers of Yahshua. We dress like the people of the book. You better get that shit correct. What about our concept of slavery? What we will find is that wars between our ancients and so-called white people took place after we helped them learn our sciences of government buildings. If the European is the son of a Muslim, they know something. Duh. They'll tell you, the European will tell you they're a son of a Muslim, but what the Negro do? I'm a black man. So you don't want to be the son of a Muslim, and the European will tell you that you taught the earth. You want to come with all this black man stuff. That's why you don't know no sciences. And the science is masonry. The pedigree is just Moorish. You got to understand this. You got to understand this. And you got to take a look at learning this science, learning building. Take a closer look. And prior to the adoption of the design of the seal in 1728, the two mottos had been changed by Thomas. And it was Thomas who had been a Latin instructor prior to being the headmaster of Congress, who came with not one, not two, but three mottos which graced the Great Seal of the United States. So when the two designs were passed by Congress on June 20th, 1782, it was recognized that the motto Novus Ordo Seclorum signified, as Thomas wrote, the beginning of a new American era. I'm telling you, man, we almost there. The seal of the pyramid. When y'all see the seal of the pyramid, that's on your dollar bill. That's the stone that was rejected. That's the chief cornerstone. That's the cornerstone. If you turn it upside down, I'll highlight it. I'll put the 7 on it. There's so much science in there. I'm telling you, everybody know what I'm saying. All European Masons. You say what, Noble?
I can highlight it for you.
Yep. So what I'm saying, y'all, the seal of the pyramid, though, was never cut. So by law, it should have never been cut and used in 1782, alongside the Observer. A letter act of Congress, September 15, 1789, continued the legal need to cut the reverse pyramid. But this did not happen. So when the verse was recut in 1841, Moors, the reverse, aka pyramid, was ignored, and in 1883, it was decided to abandon all attempts to cut it. And in the following year, an act, July 7th, 1884, see, all these dates, it's synonymous to what I be teaching, was passed to make the dies of both the obverse and the reverse. Once again, in spite of an act of Congress, the reverse pyramid was not cut. So why was it not cut? It's for the same reason why the word democracy is used by the government, although it never shows itself in the document. That is the supreme law of the land, which is the Constitution, because it ain't in there. Also, the word republic is found in the Constitution. However, family, the government created under the Constitution has a dual contractual nature based on the supremacy clause represented by the dual seals, and specifically 2 treaties that lay the base for understanding the supremacy clause of the Constitution. That's why nobody never get elected officials, never get arrested or for going against their oath. It represents the 2 nations in America, one being the ancient indigenous Moorish nation, the other being the United States of America. Also, here, the interest is that Charles Thompson served as the secretary for the so-called Lenape or the Lenape indigenous Americans. It's in this document I'm reading, y'all. That's why this whole document is powerful. It'll tell you who lied to you. Your own people. Your own people. They'll lie to you. They'll bury that shit and then come up with some fake ass shit or some damn tribe of goddamn Shabazz and some big head scientist.
Remember I asked you earlier why he dropped his Eller Bay off right there?
Mm-hmm.
To just feel you, he's part of the Lenape people, so he should have some significance in why his name is Charles Thompson instead of really what his real name is.
Yep. Just like Elijah Poole Bay.
Yeah.
The Continental Congress to History of Masonry and our own hidden indigenous Moorish history. That's what it's all about. Our heritage and history. That is veiled in the Lenape or the Araucarian history. I'm going to start pulling all these documents out. It's all there. Remember, no disrespect again. No disrespect. That white people, Europeans, Albans, Trelodites, this is what they say. They say they grew up in caves. This ain't our history. They say they grew up in caves. They say they grew up in dinosaurs. Let them have that shit. The names of many things to create confusion. And in 1756, Thomas was the secretary for the Lenape or the Delaware Indians, the Moors, the Nubians, at great council held at Easton, and that the nation adopted him as a son, according to an ancient custom. And the word Lenape or Lenape or Lenape is derived from the Lee or the Lee, which we will find is related to Akhenaten, the Palco Voltan, specifically to his ancestral line. And the Nape or the Nap or the Nab, which is interestingly of Egyptian origin, that NB meaning Lord. In Arabic, Nabi means prophet or messenger of the word of God. And the ancient language of the family of Amram, which is Moorish Israelite, often called Maya, they had the name Nab, to the bodies of water. Water lilies, turtles, Turtle Island. I show you, it's all in here. That's why I said it's all in these teachings. You can be able to ask all my religious Muslim brothers. And water in general. What lilies were of extreme importance in Egypt religion tradition? Well, the Li in Lenape has ancient origins. The conventional meaning given is that the meaning, and it means original people, as the Lenape were considered the grandfather group amongst the indigenous people of America. And the true origin of the Li.
You gave it too, right?
You said, yep.
Yep.
Is used in the frame of reference in Lenape, denoting its connection to Mexico. It's derived from a glyph. Forms found on the Temple of Instruction at Panique in Mexico, the secret burial tomb of Akhenaten, Moses, or Solomon. And its inscription is described in the sculpture of Panique, Volume 2. I got all these documents and books. The leaf motif, the leaf-like element with 3 circles at the end, hangs below the leaf armpit. The Li, or the lei, is a lineage symbol of ancestry, and it designates that the person wearing it on his clothing or if his paraphernalia has legitimate ancestral relationship to a royal person. And this linguistic and cultural connection of the Lenape to ancient Mexico is the link that established our people first returned to Turtle Island, which is the Americas, and line them from the building of the pyramid in the Americas to the establishment of American government based on the ancient laws of the ancient Moorish Israelite nation. That's why pseudo-academia say we don't know how the pyramids was made. It's all subsequently, yeah.
Islam more, and that leg, the L.
Go ahead, Noble.
That's what when you go to Hawaii and they give you those flowers.
Come on, Noble. Soon as you get off the flight, don't they, Noble? We starting to connect. I'm telling you, it's gonna watch stuff start bing. We've been lied to by these religious people. Come on. We ain't spilling no hate. We ain't talking no hate. We teaching you what it is. The area of Lenape was called Shaka Maxim. When y'all see this and all the rest of the teaching here, you're gonna be like, man, you gotta come in. We just have to figure out to bring the science to bring us back home. It's more science, it's IDMR. That's why we in school. What school? The Burning Bush Tabernacle Science Temple and School, which is similar to Shak Amex or Amaxum or Shaka Exum or Oxum. William Penn compares the language of the so-called Lenape to the Hebrews, and their language is lofty yet narrow, but like the Hebrews in signification, full, like shorthand in writing, one word served in a place of 3, and the rest are supplied by the understanding of the hearer. The records and journals of the Continental Congress prove that something very significant was going on with indigenous Americans and the forming government of the United States in regards to the formation, the hidden indigenous history of the so-called and a misnomer black man and the woman in America is tied to this subject. It's the key component to reparations, restorations, discussion in respect to land rights status, which are 2 things that should be synonymous. Critical aspects of this discussion as we move towards an independent nation. See, that's why they contradict themselves. You know, Elijah Muhammad said that no way we can understand America properly in the context and circumstances that are pervading today without seeing her in relationship to the cyclo-prophetic writings of scriptural history. Really? Scriptural history? Well, no religious Muslim can get mad with me dealing with history then. We gonna fact check it all day. That present us with models and paradigms of former nations and peoples that fell from their position of rule. We are given Quran and generally in history serve as prototypes and examples of what occurred to individuals, families, communities, nations, when these entities, nations, disobeyed divine and absolute law, the law of God. This is what they say. So, first you got to quote, history is all our studies, the most attractive and best qualified to reward our research as it develops the springs and motives of human action and displays the conscience of circumstances which operates most powerfully on the destinies of the human being. And second, it stands true that we, the lost found nation of the true Islam, not no religious Islam. We don't diss the Bible. How can you diss the Bible? We from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. And they say they believe in the truth of the Bible, but they want to get you caught up in some tribe of Shabazz and some magic moonhead man. In the wilderness of North America, have not applied ourselves to the study of history. So if they telling you this in their lessons that they ain't applied to the study of history, you cannot sit up here and be mad with me, especially no religious Muslim, because you if that's the case, you're a hypocrite. It displays the consciousness of circumstances which operates most powerfully on the destiny of human beings. It stands true that we, the lost found nation in the wilderness of North America, have not applied ourselves to the study of history. That's why I say religion and history and law gotta add up. And when religion and history don't add up, who lied to you? That's why I said I get the book of folly. I got a whole history of book of folly. I'll pull that folly book out, y'all to be like, damn, Sheik. I'll be like, I told you. I told you. I got a whole book of folly. I pull out, if I show these religious people, they'll be like, oh, Sheik, don't pull that out. Yeah, I know. Having a lots of bread of idleness. And when an effort was made to the above effect of history and study, it was to our detriment by not knowing what history that was more valuable to aid us in the knowledge of our own nation. The wise man is the one who have made a careful study of the past events of ancient and modern history. The knowledge of the future is judged by the knowledge of the past. There are men born with a gift of prophecy. Oh, we're going to talk about how can a man love God, but he hate his brother that he see every day that represents God. But you're going to talk about, oh, I know this God, I see God. You ain't seen a damn thing. The scriptures tell you, how can you love God that you never seen, but hate your brother that represents God that you see every day? Your one-on-ones actually, what's a prophet and what's an angel? A man and woman that's clothed in the flesh, that coming to bring the divine wisdom. That's why this ain't no damn election. You must be anointed and consecrated. While some are trained into the knowledge by intense studies of the past events of history. So how do we ascertain the purity of a religion? First, nobles, first by a thorough knowledge of its founders, principle of belief in the one God, the monotheism, the originator of the universe. How can you sit up here and say that the great God didn't create the heavens and earth and man, and then some other stuff created something? That means you limited the power of the creator, and that's the problem with big head niggas. Excuse my candor. I got to say that. Because that's so prejudiced for we to say, we talk about monotheism, you can agree all this, and God has made an image of this, and then a religious person to come with, so we from some tribe of Shabazz. Well, prove it. I say I'm from the tribe of Judah, lineage of David by blood. You can't show me none of this stuff biblically. We got to go back to true teachings and love and everything therein. That's why the creator and the recreator, not from translators. Like me and my dad talk about, more is lost in translation and mistranslation, and they don't want to admit it. And they don't want to admit it that you lost in translation and mistranslation. It's a whole series. That's another piece of literature y'all should get. Recommended from my dad. Lost in translation and lost in mistranslation. It's a whole series.
The Lost in Translation series.
Yes.
One of the books is written in the stars. When everybody talks about the stars, they tell you it's written in the stars. Why when Yahshua came to earth, it was written in the stars. When Moses came to earth, it was written in the stars. When Abraham was born, it was written in the stars. It always was written in the stars. That's why certain people were able to read the stars. They had skills.
Yep. Woo! Wasn't just nobody that went and bought a fez off Amazon talk about they initiated. You a charlatan. You ain't initiated into this. You went and bought that, then come around with people that's really rocking with that, and you get mad and take your fez off. That's a sucker. And I'll go back to what my dad say. You shouldn't put nothing on your head if you ain't initiated, if you don't got a map and a guide. You shouldn't have nothing. You shouldn't be representing nothing if you don't know nothing about it. You shouldn't just go buy nothing. You should be initiated because you can be. Now, I'll give you credit for wearing the fez. I give you all credit and power for that. But you should want to know about something before you just place something on your crown. That's why I'm saying you got to know some shit, have some skills. Islam. Amen. And this whole teaching was written and sent to all students in the ministry of Islam in the wilderness of North America by Elijah Muhammad, servant of Allah, 4/2/1936, and then January 18th in 1963. And it talks about the Jesuits. It talks about the Dutch artists, how all this Lenape, all this, everything here got talking about Noble Drew Ali, talking about everything in here. The Quran, all pictures and things, everything in here. And they had this back in the day. George Washington with the Moor in the background, no slaves. So if anybody lied to us, our own people lied to us. And we lost due to a lack of knowledge because we refused to learn, because we stay away from the teachings. And we don't look at our brother as a person that's a truth teacher. We always got to let somebody else teach us. Like my dad professor told him when he was in college, my professor told me the same thing, that we the only group of people that think somebody that don't look like you finna take you where you need to be spiritually, academically. That's sad. And I'm right here. And I done went in debt and went and got advanced degrees. And I come back and I ask people to be members and students and send pledges in so we can get this brick and mortar, so we can do this the right way. Stop giving all your money to Uncle Sam. Give some donations and we can give you a tax-exempt receipt. If you're not a member and a student, give $40 a month. I can give you a pledge receipt and you can get this literature. Come to class every week so we can build something, because the nation has to operate on finances and we can't be afraid to give a little bit to things that we love. So with that being said, man, I love y'all, man. And thank y'all for your time, taking time out your day. Any questions? Anybody got anything they want to build on? Anything?
I'll be touching on this when it comes to
Islam. Like I said, I don't have time to hold up all my charts because I can't. Next week I'm gonna teach off the charts, everything about IDMR and all this stuff. We gotta teach it. We gotta show people visuals because people learn different too. And I got these charts to show you how man was made in the image of Elohim. I can show you how to test the body. I can show you how all this stuff synchronizes to man being made in the image of Elohim. All these charts that I'm gonna show y'all, the IDMR books and everything, you're gonna be able to go off the text and I'll be able to walk you right through this stuff. All these charts. You say what, Dad?
That chart you just showed, they call that the Moses chart.
Yep. I'm gonna show y'all all this stuff, and we're gonna break it down. And my members and students, y'all have something so valuable. What y'all have, nobles, this right, y'all have this. This, I promise you, this is so valuable. Like far as understanding who you are with all the prejudice, you got to be able to break it down. And volume 3 and 4 is so powerful that I have to teach this. You have to be initiated. This calm you down. This is your base.
Because everything has a pattern to it. And what IDMR with that first volume 1 and 2, you will be able to learn the pattern. And the pattern is written throughout the Bible. You will see that pattern.
And your Quran is there. We'll break it all down for y'all. From love. And even this chart. This chart, which is C. Freeman L chart, this chart is saying the same thing that I just showed you. And I'm gonna break it down scientifically. We just got the own brothers explaining things because they're coming from hate. And we teach my family when I've been brought up, and I always tell y'all, I'm gonna always show my roots. And you have to go back to your roots. You have to go back to what's understood. And more science is understanding that God and man is one. Everything else is just law. Now, if you're going to have somebody teaching you law like myself and others that's true teachers, I hope they credible. Because more science, the science of more science, understanding God and man is one. You can't just jump to no civics. Then your heart is not pure because you don't have a basic understanding of who you are. You ain't gonna understand that you made in the image of God. You ain't gonna understand that your skin ain't no curse. You're not gonna understand none of that if you don't have a base.
But Chris, you can't understand that until you understand the pattern that was taught by IMR.
Yep.
If you don't have a pattern, if you don't have a guide to go by, if you don't have a blueprint, you can't build anything.
Impossible.
So all the books, when you talk about Islam, when you talk about Christianity, everybody goes back, to the Old Testament. One of the things that the Assigns were sticky about, they said the Assigns like the old custom.
Mm-hmm.
Like they didn't want to go with the new custom, but what the Assigns wanted, they said to be a high priest or be the king of Hebrews, you had to be from the lineage of David. To be a king, to be a high priest, you had to be one of the high priests of Zadok, or one of the two high priests were during David's time. You had to be from those families to be that. When it came to Herod, he wasn't even a Hebrew.
So you see what we're saying?
And everybody thought, like when you early read in the Bible, they use the word Hebrew. And then later on, they started using Jew. How did you replace Hebrew? Early in the Bible, they're Hebrews. And then all of a sudden, they turn to Jews. That to show you the Gentiles joined that Judaism because they had the numbers. They were more than the Hebrews. They became your Jews because they were willing to go ahead and be circumcised, be truly initiated.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The Christians, the same another group of Gentiles didn't want to be circumcised.
You turned your back on your own thing.
Right. But it had to start from somewhere.
Yep.
One group they were the same people believing the same doctrine, but everybody had a little different doing to twist something.
Mm-hmm.
When you twist it, you formed another group.
Islam.
You went from Judaism, you went to Christianity, and you went to Islam. Just little changes.
Islam.
Israelites came next after that, right?
It's just so many parallels.
Israelites is synonymous to Jews.
Yep.
Yeah.
They changed the writings of the Bible when I think when they changed the language. What you were saying, they went from Jews to what was it before?
It went from Hebrews to Jews. They changed you off the breadcrumb. It's a replacement.
When you read the Bible, the name that they used for the Israelites, they were all Hebrews, the Hebrew language, with Hebrews. Then you start reading, when we start getting toward the New Testament, they don't use the word Hebrews. They became Jews.
I'll tell you what we'll do. Don't let me forget. Next class, I'm gonna get my Jewish encyclopedias, and I'm gonna show y'all the trick, because you gotta have the stuff there. When people are like, well, are you serious? I'm gonna show y'all the explanation in the encyclopedias in Jew and Hebrew. I'm gonna show you how the word play game, what we call in academia linguistic apartheid. You're gonna see the tricknology, because a Hebrew can be a Jew per se. A Hebrew can be a Jew, but a Jew ain't a Hebrew per se.
See, the Jew, let's say we have a group. So let's say like your group right there, Kareem.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody says, I like how Kareem rock it, but I don't like these as the only ones who could be in leadership position. The ones who have dark skin like me, you got to be dark as me to be in the leadership position.
Mm-hmm.
So now the light skinned brothers, will get upset because they want to be a part of it, but you say you can't be over it because you ain't dark as me.
Mm-hmm.
If there are more Gentiles in the world, eventually they'll outnumber the Hebrews.
Mm-hmm.
The Hebrews one that's multiplying like the Gentiles.
Mm-hmm.
So they became the Jews because they were truly initiated in. They got circumcised. They were going by the Old Testament. These are the Gentiles that were taking part of the Hebrew religion. Now we have another group of Gentiles. All of us still in the same group. They said, well, we don't want to get circumcised, but we believe in the teachings.
Don't that sound familiar, Dad? It sound what Nick and see, and when we use reason, you got to use reason, because Negroes do that shit today.
You see it every day.
That's what we say we using reason, because Negroes do it today. That's what we say we using logic. Like, look, it ain't far-fetched. Look, it's happening. It happened today. What you talk about? Every day. Oh, man, I rock with them, but I don't want to do this. Or I'm a Moor, but I don't want to wear no fez. Man, what are you talking about?
So they started another group.
Yeah. And that ain't no custom. That ain't because custom and tradition is we wear our fez, we wear our turban. It's certain things in custom tradition we do. But if you don't want to rock with it, you're going to make your own. It's plain and simple. And that's exactly what happens. And it's that simple. And we try to make it so complex, and it's not. And next week, we're going to get that encyclopedia we're going to deal with. I'm going to show you when you see Jew and when you see Hebrew, and then you're going to be like, okay, they're going to say something, the people of the Bible, the Hebrew. Then you're going to see a little word trick, and then you're going to see a Hebrew can be a Jew, but a Jew can't be a Hebrew. And you'll be like, wait one damn minute, and I'm going to break it down. It's going to tell on itself. It's going to tell you. They're going to tell. It's a replacement. The European is trying to, like my dad said, graft themselves in and replace you with their attire. It's a replacement.
But they had the numbers.
But they had the numbers. But then a true Jew would tell you, a true person would tell you that they was grafted in. They'll tell you that they were circumcised into the teachings, not born into it. They'll tell you if you're sitting with a true person. Like I lectured at Jewish churches, my professor, they'll tell you that they were grafted in. They just read, they kept it up.
They kept it up, yes.
They kept it up. All these books ain't lying. Where is somebody's book is tell you that Jesus is a white man? A Jewish or a Catholic will look at you and be like, dude, you got that shit mixed up. Because we praise the mother with the baby Jesus in the hand. What you talk about? See, I'm waiting. The Catholic, they got the mother Mary with the baby in the hand. What we talk about? I wait.
So you come out ISIS and
come on, Dad. Come on. You just like the Black Madonna. And I'm telling you, they tell on. That's why I don't even want to go with them black people with that stuff. The European ain't lied to you. They ain't never lied. You came with that shit. Replacement.
ISIS Forest.
Come on, Dad.
So what? That's what that statue is.
Yeah.
It's exact replica.
Yes.
Holy Forest.
Yes.
Duh. But it always has to be again. Europeans didn't have religion.
No.
Religion from something else.
And they gotta always. I don't remember like how me and my dad be talking. We don't hate on people having their statues, y'all. It come from somewhere. Remember in that book, Malik got the big book, and it's on Amazon across the grip, and they got the god Artemis in there, and they changed the god Artemis with all the breasts, and in the museum they got the god figure all white and pale.
Yeah.
I ain't hating for no, just like when we be talking, if you read, look, man, what's for them is what's for them. But what's for you is for you. Like if it's fake, it's all fake. They got the shit from you. They just replace your things with them. Just like the Statue of Liberty was Queen Khalifa. All this stuff, come on, I ain't hating on it. What does it mean? You got to take your shit back on law and wisdom and stand strong and let your brother and sister guide us and everybody come along. This ain't no light-skinned thing. This ain't no black thing. This is a us thing. And like I closed, me and my dad we was talking earlier, y'all, and we was talking about my cousin Bryce and how minuscule our thinking is. When we talk about some color has something to do with blood. Man, my cousin Bryce is pale in the mug. You gonna say that ain't my cousin? Because he got the same blood.
But look at his son.
And then you look at his son. His son don't look curly ass hair. All that's it. He got it's our blood in it. We so messed up that you can look at somebody and say, oh, this person is this. You a damn fool. And the great God ain't made us ignorant. The great God created everything. The great God ain't selfish. Everything else is conditioned. I promise you that. I promise you that. The great God created man. All man. What man? Orange, green, purple, gray. I don't give a damn. The great God did that. And I close. And I give y'all credit and love and thank everybody for joining the lecture. Thanks for my dad for being here for that. I like to call that oversee. I like to use in scripture that quiver, that be there and just be able to give some wisdom from a different place that maybe some of us do have fathers and maybe some of us lost their fathers, but we can have a space where here it is, that's a father. My father, he a father to y'all and can sit and talk from wisdom and love, no biasness, because truth has no size. We're not here to teach no hate. We're here to teach the truth of the scriptures. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to be a blue bird, a red bird, a fucking pigeon, whatever. But that's it.
You know what you are.
That's it.
On the temples, know thyself.
Yep.
They knew way back then, we we'll get lost and won't know who we are.
Yeah. So I give y'all love, man. Do our Moorish American prayer. I don't know if Alonzo is here, but if someone can do our Moorish American prayer and then do our benediction, and we out of here.
Alonzo here.
Oh, gratitude, noble Alonzo.
Allah, Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. By night, by day, His holy prophet, through Ali, Amen, Ashe, Shalom Aleichem, Ar, Islamism, peace, 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 peace.
Peace, peace, peace.
Brother Alonzo, you got us? You gotta unmute, no.
Islam.
May the benediction of Allah be upon thee and thine always, as thou shalt strive to be a credit to Allah. Make haste to bestow thine act of love upon thy brethren, and do the best to shun thine evil one. Remember, take succor of the breast of knowledge, wisdom, fortitude, charity, love, and all standing, that you might nourish the souls of men. Let truth be the shield and the manifest battle of falsehood. Know that Moors need not to pick the lock to the gates of paradise by means of petty or criminal theft. For behold, the key to salvation already rests within thine own hand. And yet, even though a portion of our nature is weakness, instability, and inconsistency, there still is a part of our nature that is divine. May Allah protect thee, guide thee, preserve thee, lengthen thy age, and give thee everlasting peace. Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, Al-Haq, Ya Muhammad, Islam, Ashe, peace,
Peace, peace, peace, peace. Amen. Amen. Peace, 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 peace. Amen, amen. Amen and amen. Gratitude for everybody, man. Gratitude, man. Spend time with your family. That's what today is about. Islam and love, y'all. Peace. Peace and love. Peace and love.